Welcome to the Bell 429 version 0.92. It's a quick video to help people start up and use the autopilot. Before I put the battery on, you can pull out the panel, switch on the tablet, which will give you a pre-start check, the engine check. It's so simple to use, we won't need it. Right. Normal. Switch the position lights on, switch the anti-caught light on. Battery on. Race throttle locks. Run. As you can see, the screens are still black and they're all still doing run up checks. Coming online. It's coming up. Right, generator 1 and 2 is off. We'll start number 1. Number 1 starting to run up. At 50%, switch resets automatically, and we can switch the generator. Starting number 2. Number 2 starts to run up. Start it. Generator on. AP1, AP2 on. Declutter. Right. Go way up. Let's set the barrel. Right. 55 feet. We're here at Wharton. I'm flying real time in real weather. And it's just starting to rain by the looks of it. Decision height. Set 200. I'll select for 2000. Right. Increasing the throttle. I've put a little notch on it now so you can see roughly where to be. And the RPM will start running up. The range is 95 to 104. You normally fly at 100%. It will still fly above 104, okay, but you will get a warning. Just a little bit more. There we are, 100%. So we're all ready to take off. Get rid of these needles for now. Increase the torque. Departing to the south. I've synchronized the heading.
50. 40.
Now I'm going to engage vertical speed, heading, and SAS. That is the autopilot engaged. You see here we got vertical speed, which is 500. We'll put it up to 1000. We got airspeed engaged, which is 80 knots. We got heading, and I can adjust the boat when I swing around to the east. So we're attitude mode, vertical speed, heading, and airspeed. And we're climbing. You can see on here at 1,000 feet per minute. And we're at 80 knots. Switch to 10 degrees outside. We'll switch the PLC on. Amber, and then it goes green. Right. Amber, then green there. Well, it's in full autopilot mode at the moment. Just reduce the rate to 500. Increase the speed. As we get to 2,000, we'll engage altitude mode. Now I have programmed buttons and my joystick and everything else to do all this. Normal controls are down here, but it's hard to press down here and watch out here. It makes it a lot easier if you program your joystick. All the commands are in the documents. We're now leveling off at 2,000 feet. And I can go through the different modes for the autopilot now. Now, we select GPS flight management system. Bring up that. Now, what I'm going to do is go. I've got a flight plan in here for a local circle, but I will go direct. To Manchester. Enter. Activate. Now we got a direct route to Manchester. So right now engage the nav. You see FMS appears. And we're now swinging around and heading towards Manchester Airport. Increase the speed a bit. Tend to do it in 10 knot steps where you hold your altitude. If you do it any more, you tend to drop a bit in altitude and then recatch. In fact, even now we're going down a few feet. As you can see, we're heading now to Manchester. We've got 28.2 nautical miles, 18 minutes. So, if you had a route filed in here, it would just follow the GPS route. So, with the default Garmin, you can only use GPS 1 for autopilot. So, I've set this up to FSM 1. Alright, pointer buttons. As you've seen before, I've got VOR2 selected. That's tuned into pole VOR. It's 21.5 miles. Now if I want to head directly to it, I just select heading mode. We're into heading mode. And we're now rotating around and following the pointer. A little bit more speed, 120 knots. If I wish to climb to 3,000 feet, you can actually select on here, or on Alt select, we just put 3,000. We'll select 3,000 feet. We're into vertical speed mode, so we must tell it what rate we want to climb at. We'll do it at 500 feet per minute. So we're now climbing to 3,500 feet, heading for pole VOR, which is 25. Now we can also, if we select in the nav mode, select into pole as well. But on this, we can adjust number 2 heading, and as you see the bar goes out. So whatever radio we want to fly on. Now what I'll do is select just outside the range there. We'll now go to nav mode. So you see now heading in VOR is in white. We'll turn to the right to intercept the 77 radio. The VOR is armed and we're still in heading mode. You can see we're coming close to our 3,000 as we said before. We now just engaged the VOR and it's swinging around and it'll lock onto the 77-degree radio. What we got to do is switch on number 1 pointer, ADF1, which is set to Wharton, which is 337. And we see WTN, Wharton, ADF. If you see it's way behind us at the moment. So what I can do is engage heading mode. Give me that needle number 2, and as you can see at the moment we're now turning around and we're going to head back to Wharton ADF. So we're now see flying at 3,000 feet, 120 knots. Brought us back heading towards Wharton again. select. I'm going to head east. Select nav 1. Nav 1 is tuned into the Wharton ILS. At the moment we're out of range. It's just coming up now. Alright, I'm going to descend down to 2,000 feet. I'll select 2,000. Select the rate of descent. We're going to go quite fast as it's descending. 1,000 feet per minute. Slower. Autopilot. We're going to head north. Well, I'll still get the ADS, so you can see that Wharton is off to our left. And it is 12.1 nautical miles. At 500 feet, the out captures within 500 feet, and then it controls it itself. If it sounds very, I've switched the engine noise and the rotor noise and outside noise out all down so that you can hear me talk. In the last video I left them as normal and everybody was complaining that they couldn't hear my voice. So hopefully you can understand this a little bit better this time. You can fly without the autopilot, quite simple, but this modern helicopter makes it so easy to navigate airways in IMC conditions. Right, now we're going to engage. We're going to head towards it and engage. Or engage the localizer. And now we're in the ILS mode. You can see we're still way below the glide slope, so, and we've got 10 miles to run, 5 minutes. I've added a few more buttons on here. Basically, at the moment they only change colour, they do nothing else, but eventually, maybe in the next version, they will switch between right hand and left hand for attitude heading and ADC inputs. So if you get a failure and the ADC goes red, you can then select the co-pilots and it'll be at a yellow. Same with attitude, if we get a number 1 attitude failure, you can switch to number 2. And heading. You can see the glide slope needle slowly coming down. I put in here, you can actually change to single Q if you want to switch command bars on. The command bars only display, they don't actually, because I'm using the Bell 412 plugin, the command bars don't actually mean anything, they're just in there. So I wouldn't try to fly flight director mode, because it probably wouldn't take you in the right place. Oh, we can switch back to single Q and switch those crossbars off. At the moment you can see we're in millibars, you can switch to inches or millibars. The standby is nicely in both. What? Glide slope engaged, slow glides engaged. It's still a bit murky out there, but I can just make out the runway here. We've got wind. Oh, it's quite a strong wind. 20 knot wind from the left. Hence we're sort of till slipping in. Synchronize the heading. The course needle will be 253.
1000.
I've changed all the call outs to a female call out. You can now see the runway quite clearly now with a visual. Right, I found when disengaging the autopilot in the Bell 412 and the 429, I found my way is to put your collective fully up maximum. Or just
500.
About to engage or disengage the autopilot.
400.
And to do this smoothly, disconnect now.
300.
Disconnect the flight director. Disconnect that, and then slowly engage in the collector.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30.
'Glide slow.
50.
'Glide slow. 'Glide slow.
40. 30. 30.
And this is
20.
the smoothest way to re-engage normal flying mode.
$40.
I didn't think it was that windy today.
30.
'And we're back to where we started.
30. 20, 10,
RPM. Switch off the 8 gauge. Generators off. The rotors are running down now. Once we get to the red mark, we can then put the rotor brake on. Well, I hope this helps people be able to use the Autopilot. It's a very useful. It's all based on the Bell 412 by X-Trade. And thanks to Albert and his team for letting us use it. If you fly the Bell 412 on X-Plane, then all the commands are exactly the same. Rotor brake on. The rotors will come to a stop.